Hello, it's time for the devotionals for April 29th, 2026. Won't you join me?
In Mornings with God, Daily Bible Devotional for Women.
Day 119. Never lacking. Why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin. Matthew 6:28. God is a provider and a supplier of our needs. God tends to the lilies of the field. How much more would He be willing to provide for your needs? God is mindful of you. God cares for your well-being. It pleases God to meet your needs. God did not create you to live a life in constant need. Think back to times when God provided for you in your need. Whenever you are in need, remember those moments of faithfulness.
In Keeping Hope Alive, Devotions for Strength in the Storm.
When plans change. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Proverbs 16:9. Pause. The day dawned with the promise of a smooth sail home. Sailorman estimated a 7-hour trip, if everything went according to plan. His estimate fell only 53 hours short. By day's end, the engine had failed 3 times. The dinghy we tow in case of an emergency had been punctured. The electronic gizmo that raises the anchor had broken. When we finally limped into the nearest marina at midnight, Canadian border guards searched our boat for drugs and threatened us with 6 months in prison or a $750,000 fine for crossing into U.S. waters and then re-entering Canada during COVID. By that time, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Thankfully, after they heard our story, they reconsidered and let us go. We make plans, but circumstances beyond our control change them in a heartbeat. Things go from bad to worse. Before long, our lives look so chaotic that we don't know whether to laugh or cry. It's always good to remember who's in charge. We make our plans, but the Lord reigns. Living from this truth helps us survive the ride, especially when nothing goes as we expect. Ponder. What's your usual response when plans change and everything seems to go wrong? How does Proverbs 16:9 encourage you? Pray. God, guard my heart from anxiety when you overrule my plans. We can find ourselves in the middle of God's perfect will and in the middle of a perfect storm at the same time. David Jeremiah, what are you afraid of? Facing down your fears with faith.
In Joy and Strength.
April 29th. Thy will be done, as in heaven, so in earth. Luke 11:2. Thy Father reigns supreme above, the glory of His name is grace and wisdom, truth and love. His will must be the same. And thou hast asked all joys in one, in whispering forth, thy will be done. Francis R. Havergal. In heaven, God's will is done, and the Master teaches the child to ask that the will may be done on earth just as in heaven, in the spirit of adoring submission and ready obedience. Because the will of God is the glory of heaven, the doing of it is the blessedness of heaven. As the will is done, the kingdom of heaven comes into the heart. Andrew Murray. What is it thou wouldst have done, that he cannot do if he think fit? And if he think it not fit, if thou art one of his children, thou wilt think with him, thou wilt reverence his wisdom, and rest satisfied with his will. This is believing indeed, the rolling all our desires and burdens over upon an almighty God. And where this is, it cannot choose but establish the heart in the midst of troubles, and give it a calm within the midst of the greatest storms. Robert Layton. I'm sure, like me, that you can be frustrated when plans change. Sometimes you lose money, sometimes you lose time. There's so many things that can happen. But if you trust in God, you'll find that you are never lacking for what you lost when those plans changed. I hope you have a blessed day.